Believe it or not, when you drive around the city each day, there are many people who are driving around right beside you who don't have car insurance. They're breaking the law. The question we're going to talk about today is, what happens if you're hit by one of those uninsured drivers? Do you have rights, or are you out of luck? So let's get to it. I want to tell you a story to help you understand how the system works. So we'll start with Joan. She goes each weekend to Zehrs to do her groceries. She travels the same route every weekend. And on this particular weekend, she's coming back from getting her groceries. She's driving through an intersection on a green light, and she sees a flash out of the corner of her eye. And all of a sudden, there's a smash, and an uninsured driver has blown a red light and smashed into the passenger side of Joan's vehicle. Joan's knocked unconscious, the ambulance is called, the police are called, and she's transported to hospital, and they find that Joan has a brain injury and a whole host of broken bones. She goes on to work hard at her rehab in the hospital, and then she's discharged from hospital. But that's not the end of the story for Joan. You see, what it comes down to is that Joan's different roles in her life will never be fulfilled like they were before. Mother, daughter, sister, wife, employee, all of those roles are going to change for Joan. She'll never work again, and she'll need rehab that will cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So is Joan out of luck because she was hit by an uninsured driver? Or does Joan have rights? The bottom line is that Joan has rights like most people who have car insurance in Ontario. I'm going to explain those rights to you by reference to Joan's own insurance company. We'll call it Aviva for today. And we'll examine the different hats that Aviva wears. The first hat that Aviva wears is as Joan's no-fault, so-called no-fault insurance company, which is actually called Statutory Accident Benefit Insurer. Joan's own insurance company, Aviva, will have to pay for her no-fault benefits regardless of whether or not the uninsured driver hit her. So that means that up to the limits of the policy, Aviva will have to pay for Joan's rehab. They'll also have to pay a percentage of her income loss. But, like many of you have seen in my vlogs and blog posts, the problem is that several years ago now, the government cut back on the amount of no-fault benefits available to someone like Joan. And the bottom line is there's just not enough money for her. Her care costs will be in the hundreds of thousands, and she'll blow through the Aviva money in trying to get back to some semblance of normalcy in 6 months to a year. So that takes me to the second hat that Aviva wears in this scenario. It's called what lawyers call the tort hat, or the hat as a defendant. What happens is Joan would start a lawsuit not only against that uninsured driver, but believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, against her own insurance company, Aviva. Now, the likelihood of that uninsured driver, if they can't pay for insurance, they probably don't have any assets. They can't pay for any of Joan's rehab in a lawsuit. So what happens is Aviva steps into the shoes of the uninsured driver, and they will deny Joan's claim, they will defend Joan's claim, set up surveillance against Joan, and fight her claim tooth and nail, just like any other insurance company would in this situation. And if, at the end of the day, there's a settlement or a judgment by a judge or a jury ordering Aviva to pay money for Joan's future late wage losses and future rehabilitation costs, Aviva has to pay that up to the limits of her policy. So there you have it. Joan isn't out of luck. She still has rights. It's just that those rights are a little more complicated when an uninsured driver is involved. Thanks for watching. We're grateful for all of our social media followers. If you like this video, please click like in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen and share it with your friends and family. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.